English Planet. Appunti di inglese, a cura di Nicholas Youldon.
Good evening, everybody. You're tuned to Radio Dreamland and you're listening to English Planet, a program that will help you to improve your ability to speak English using eco-spirituality. If you've missed something, don't worry, you are in the right place. I'm Nick Youldon, an English teacher from the land of King Arthur, who works in Piedmont, the land of the civilization of Rama. My aim is to share the vision of Radio Dreamland and to improve communication between people by using different languages, in particular English. The aim beyond this is to help people to communicate better and to help make this planet a better place to live in. I know this is maybe ambitious, but as to use the words of a song from an old film in the 1960s, if you don't have a dream, how are you going to have a dream come true? Nelle altre due lezioni, nelle ultime, cioè 2 lezioni, abbiamo parlato molto sul problema, sulle difficoltà della pronuncia inglese. Ce n'è ancora da dire su questo aspetto, perché ovviamente è molto complesso e molto esteso. Però per adesso, per queste settimane, cambiamo un po' l'argomento, volevo un po' entrare nel passato. Appena nominato il re Artù e la civiltà di Rama, che tutte e due appartengono al passato. Adesso guardiamo un po' come si fa ad esprimersi nel passato nella lingua inglese. E lo so, ma prima di spegnere il computer completamente e andare a dormire, aspettate un attimo, perché io sono qui per aiutare, non per creare difficoltà per nessuno. Io lo so benissimo che vi hanno torturato nella scuola italiana con una strana tabella di verbi inglesi strambi, con tutti questi cambiamenti da memorizzare, che uno non riusciva mai a fare comunque. E comunque che non serviva un tubo per andare a parlare con gli inglesi. Per tranquillizzarvi, proviamo a sentire questo. Allora, sappiamo che esiste una corrispondenza abbastanza diretta tra termini linguistici tra una lingua e un'altra. Ad esempio in italiano un cane è un fenomeno animale con 4 zampe e una coda che fa wow 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 wow, e per gli inglesi questo fenomeno stesso si chiama dog. Allora memorizziamo questo: cane uguale dog. Simile è un grosso animale grigio con un proboscite lungo che vive in Africa e si chiama in italiano elephant. Scusate, no? Elefante. In inglese invece, per gli inglesi, questo è un elephant, e quindi elefante uguale elephant. Allora, questo non abbiamo grossi problemi, questo ci rendiamo conto che io mi devo ricordare questi termini qua se voglio comunicare con un inglese a proposito di questi fenomeni qua. Man uguale uomo, woman uguale donna, computer uguale computer e laptop uguale laptop. Questo è facile. Questi sono tutti nomi. Sono memorizzati. Bene. Adesso guardiamo un po' cosa succede con un verbo. Mangiare, eat at eaten, bere, drink drank drunk, andare, go went gone, venire, come came come, pensare, think thought thought. Cosa succede? Pensare non è to think? Andare non è to go? No, non lo sono. Voi quando imparate un verbo, quando incontrate un nuovo verbo, dovete memorizzarlo in 3 parti, così avete subito risposto un verbo per ogni occasione. Non ho mai detto questo nella scuola, ma se uno ci riflette un attimino è molto intelligente fare così. Perché? Perché il verbo ovviamente si userà nel passato e si userà anche in un'altra forma e bisogna sapere istintivamente e immediatamente com'è questo stesso verbo nella forma del passato e l'altra forma di cui ne parliamo dopo. La scuola italiana insegna ai ragazzi ad imparare in primo momento una lista di verbi che servono per parlare, diciamo nel presente infinito oppure nel presente simple. Poi ti fanno un secondo momento ti fanno studiare effettivamente una lunga griglia di 200-250 verbi con tante variazioni, verbi che probabilmente nessuno lo userà mai, forme che è un completamente spreco di tempo a imparare o memorizzare. E poi ogni volta che uno cerca di esprimersi nel passato in inglese con una bella ragazza inglese o un bel ragazzo inglese, come si vuole, comunque uno fa la lotta con una specie di tabella mentale nella testa per andare a pescare un pezzo di un verbo tra tutti quegli altri nascosti, per dire una cosa semplice. Se usate invece il metodo Nick che vi ho appena spiegato, allora la prossima volta, o la prima volta forse, che si trova nel pub, si saprà spiegare già e giustificare che hai pagato ieri le birre e quindi non le compri oggi. Si dice in inglese, I bought the beers yesterday, now you buy the bloody beers. Viene istintivamente ed immediatamente esprimersi in questo modo, anche in questo modo giusto, perché avete a disposizione il verbo che volete usare e anche subito sua forma nel passato. Io personalmente, essendo un inglese un tot di anni dietro, mi rendo conto che ogni volta che io uso un verbo, in qualsiasi forma che sia, nella mia testa sento questa vocina che sta ripetendo comunque il verbo stesso in tutte le sue forme. Cioè, quando dici go, dico go and gone, quando dico come, dico come time come, quando dico scappi, dico run run run, e così via. Attenzione qui però, perché non è che dico ad alta voce tutte e tre le forme go and gone. Sto pensando go and gone e mia mente, anche il mio cervello, anche strampolato, mi dice ma scegli velocemente tra una di queste tre possibilità. Sto pensando alle tre forme, scelgo quella giusta e dico subito quella giusta. E se cerco quella nel passato, ce l'ho subito a disposizione. Funziona così. E quindi, yesterday I went to the bar. Yesterday I bought the beers. Today you buy the beers. Avendo subito a disposizione tutte le forme del verbo, posso esprimermi a volontà a secondo nel presente o nel passato, oppure nella terza forma, di cui, come dico, parlerò dopo, più avanti. Così evito di torturarmi con delle griglie di qualsiasi tipo, o di verbi o di mangiare, che mi risolve un sacco di problemi nella vita. Per riassumere qua, per studenti che sono all'inizio più o meno del studio di inglese, sono avvantaggiati perché basta che imparano, quando imparano dei nuovi verbi, di impararli in questo modo che è appena descritto, in tre forme diverse, e memorizzarli bene in questo modo qua. Per studenti o persone che sono già più avanti, hanno già una buona conoscenza con l'inglese, bisogna invece fare uno sforzo per dimenticare o distruggere quella griglia che c'è nella testa e ricordarsi e prendere l'abitudine di usare i verbi. Quando usi i verbi, qualsiasi verbo, bisogna usarlo con questa specie di eco nella testa del verbo in tre parti, così viene più spontaneo e memorizzato o usate solo quei verbi che vi servono, non tutta una griglia di verbi che non userai mai, ad esempio. Così state sprecando tempo solo. Ricordatevi che una volta memorizzati questi verbi in questa forma qua, non ci sono più cambiamenti nei verbi per tutte le persone. I, you, he, she, we, you, they, non cambia più niente, quindi una volta memorizzata questa forma hai tutto il passato completamente memorizzato. Posso dire I bought the beers yesterday, you bought the beers yesterday, he bought the beers yesterday, we bought the beers yesterday, you bought the beers yesterday, plurale, they bought the beers yesterday, è tutto giusto, non cambia più questo nostro bought. E questo vale per tutti i verbi che esistono in inglese. Quando dico tutti i verbi inglesi, intendo proprio tutti i verbi inglesi. Però bisogna precisare qui una cosa. Finora ho parlato di verbi cosiddetti irregular verbs. Sono irregolari nel senso che cambiano forma, proprio forma, tra la forma di base, il passato e il participio. E così è importantissimo memorizzare bene le forme perché sennò poteva anche creare problemi di comprensione. Però c'è un bel gruppo di verbi inglesi che si chiamano regolari. Questi sono tutti quei verbi che per fare il passato, anche il participio per dire, non fanno un cambiamento della forma originale, però per dirli nel passato, teoricamente dico, bisogna aggiungere un pezzo di suono, un codino per cambiare tra presente e passato. Guardiamo il verbo regolare, ad esempio want, che è volere, per io voglio, I want, ok? Nel passato fa I wanted, want, wanted, I wanted, you wanted, she wanted, he wanted, uguale per le persone, però è wanted e non want. Questo verbo in particolare si sente dalla pronuncia, si sente una bella differenza tra want e wanted, ok? Allora, un altro verbo regolare è il verbo look, guardare, look. Questo nel passato fa looked, look, looked, look, looked. Avete capito? C'è una piccola differenza, ma non si sta cambiando proprio la forma del verbo, si sta aggiungendo solo un suono, in questo caso un t. Qui abbiamo a che fare con un fenomeno, un concetto della fonetica. Quando il nostro verbo finisce con un suono duro, tipo look, bisogna aggiungere un suono duro, t, looked, looked. Quando troviamo un verbo con un suono dolce, use, ad esempio, use, utilizzare, use, si mette un suono dolce, d, used, used, used. La difficoltà qui per gli italiani, ma anche per altri non madrelingua inglese, è che la pronuncia qui, per aggiungere questo piccolo suono al verbo, è difficilissima a fare in modo naturale e dipende dalla capacità, solo è l'allenamento quotidiano nell'usare la lingua. Per gli italiani poi è complicato ancora di più del fatto che si insegna qui in Italia che questi verbi regolari si convertono nel past simple aggiungendo due lettere, e, di, i, di. Allora, poi torniamo di nuovo a vedere la forma scritta e gli italiani cercano poi di pronunciare questa forma scritta. Questo risulta che tutti questi verbi regolari vengono fuori dagli italiani in inglese come like, liked. He liked the film yesterday. Oppure call. I called you on the phone yesterday to invite you to the cinema. O proviamo con work. I worked very late last night. Tutta la frase è pronunciata benissimo, ma il verbo stona perché è troppo marcato questa pronuncia del suono del passato. Worked non va bene. Called non va bene. Gli inglesi di madrelingua e quei maledetti britannici fanno di tutto in effetti per nascondere questo fatto che stanno parlando nel passato. Intanto per aiutare anche italiani o qualsiasi studente straniero, veramente non c'è bisogno di cambiare il verbo per indicare che stiamo parlando del passato, perché c'è sempre una parola, un termine compreso, tipo yesterday, last night, last week, in 1955, che indica comunque il passato e quindi il verbo non deve indicare niente. Se invece usi i verbi marcati in modo che ho appena illustrato, l'inglese risponderà: "Oh, I see you're Italian. I do love Italy. I was in Venice on holiday, you know." Capiscono esattamente cosa stai dicendo, ma si rendono conto subito perché è indicato come una pronuncia italiana dell'inglese, questo ed in fondo ai verbi. Quasi quasi è meglio per un italiano non cercare di mettere neanche questo passato. Far finta di niente, usi la forma base del verbo insieme a yesterday o last night o qualsiasi cosa e vai avanti lo stesso. Avrai un buon rapporto con tutti gli inglesi che incontri. Now time is running short here and we have to have our tea break. But I haven't finished with the past simple. Not yet, there is much to explain. I'll continue next week. I will explain how to pronounce the past simple and why we have to use the past simple. Don't switch off now, stay tuned. I'll be back very shortly and I will speak to you exclusively in my own language, English. See you soon.
Radio Dreamland. Share the vision. Meditazione planetaria del martedì. Radio Dreamland si unisce all'iniziativa della meditazione planetaria del martedì sera, organizzata dal New Earth Circle. Ogni martedì sera alle 21 vi invitiamo a partecipare alla meditazione planetaria dedicata a Madre Terra e a tutti i suoi figli di qualsiasi specie. Ognuno può unirsi al cerchio planetario dei meditanti partecipando da soli o con i propri cari, per una testimonianza di pace e di spiritualità che abbracci tutto il pianeta, per un atto d'amore verso Madre Terra, per un mondo antispecista. Unitevi con noi in meditazione seguendo la Nassinar, la musica del vuoto eseguita al flauto da Giancarlo Barbadoro. Ogni martedì alle 21. Per informazioni www.newearthcircle.org.
Of eternal heart.
Radio Dreamland. Share the vision.
Welcome back after the break. You're still tuned to Radio Dreamland, and this is English Planet, the voice of Nick Youldon. I'm inviting you now just to do something quite simple, but which maybe is slightly unusual in modern times. I'm going to speak to you in English, and all you have to do is sit down, be comfortable, listen, and reflect. Maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned, but I believe this is something which not many people do nowadays. They don't have time usually to sit down and listen to something. I remember when I was younger, I had a collection of discs. I loved music. I had vinyl discs and then later CDs, compact discs, and a host of famous musicians, groups, etc., etc. Music I could listen to. Led Zeppelin, Moody Blues, Who, David Bowie, Queen, on and on and on. All of these were something which I enjoyed most if I simply put on the disc, sat down and listened. In the old vinyl days, 20 minutes, then turn over. With compact discs, 40 minutes at a time, 45 minutes. Nowadays, who will sit down and listen to something, anything, for 45 minutes without getting bored or being attacked by nerves or conscience feeling, oh, I have to do something, I can't do this. We all have ears on our heads and a direct connection to our brains, so why can't we just listen to something and take in information or pleasure? Incidentally, here to put in a parenthesis, my Roman friend on this station, not Julius Caesar, but Marco Puglieri, who does the program Archeo Mystery World on Sunday evenings, recently mentioned the concept of the aspect of sound, acoustics, and ancient monuments and menhirs and stones, etc. At this point, it comes to mind that I visited once a site on the borders of Lake Titicaca between Bolivia and Peru, a site which is known as Tiwanaku, where there's a very, very large structure, mostly in ruins, but constructed as usual of stones, large stones. I was absolutely amazed when the tour guide took all of us, including myself, to look at a hole in a stone. The guide said, look, sit down here and put your head and your ear close to the hole in this stone. I will now go outside on the other side of the stone. I will walk some distance away and I will speak to you and see what happens. What happened is that he walked some distance, as he said, away, 10-20 meters, where normally you would not hear a person speaking with a normal voice. But putting my ear to this hole in the stone, I could hear extremely clearly, totally everything he was saying from a distance of let's say 20 meters, as I remember. The hole in the stone, as the guide explained, was anatomically perfect. It functioned exactly in the way that a human ear will function, to magnify sound. How someone in ancient times mysteriously created or recreated anatomically a human ear in a stone is not absolutely clear, but the phenomenon was, for me, absolutely incredible. If there are out there any COVID survivors who have the possibility, the chance, the good fortune to ever again visit maybe Bolivia and Peru, I can highly recommend a visit to Tiwanaku. Apart from that, in Peru, there are any number of interesting sites, ancient monuments and things to look at, fascinating places to visit. Now, after that parenthesis, let's get back to reality, or eco-spirituality. My teacher, a gentleman called Giancarlo Barbadoro, who was the spirit of Dreamland and Radio Dreamland, helped me to understand that true reality is existence, the same existence that encompasses everything that generates us, and which we have to personally interact with if we are to live, if we are to exist, if we are to be conscious. This existence from time to time presents us with situations or events which we individually have to identify, interpret, react to and learn from, because they can help us to achieve a better condition of well-being. I have to admit that I find this idea quite fascinating, and I'd just like for a few minutes this evening just to talk about one or two things that have occurred to me this week, which have given me cause for reflection, and which I feel may be quite interesting to recount. The first thing I want to mention is something news, an article filtered through to me from through Facebook or on the internet, which said a minister or a part of the government or some person in authority in Italy was complaining about the use of foreign words in the Italian language. I think the reference directly was to words like smart working, coming from the disastrous COVID scenario. Don't get me wrong, I am not in the least offended or upset because this gentleman was referring to an English term being used in the Italian language. That doesn't bother me in the least, quite on the contrary. If we look at facts, you can see that the English language is spoken all around the world by people not as a mother language, but as a second language, a language which is useful for communicating between people who don't speak a common language. English as a language is successful in this precisely because it contains so many words which are not originally English. English easily accepts foreign words, encapsulates them and turns them into English words. Ideas of linguistic purity have been quite common in the past. One gentleman who had the same idea was Adolf Hitler in Germany. He insisted that people should not use the German word Nase for naso or nose in English is almost identical to the other European words. Hitler was saying, this is not a classical German word, we need a German word to refer to that piece of anatomy on our faces. And he invented the word in German, which was Gesichtsanhang, which basically said something similar in Italian or in English to an extra piece added onto your face. Now, it is obviously impractical to refer to a piece of your anatomy as an extra thing added onto your face, rather than calling it a nose. If it's a nose, call it a nose. It doesn't matter where the word comes from. I believe at the time that Mussolini shared the same ideas as Adolf Hitler, but I don't have any particular examples at the moment of what happened in the Italian language. What I do know is that General de Gaulle in France, post-war, followed the same ideas also. And as we all know, or may not know, I'm not sure, the French people don't use computers, they use calculateurs, and they are about the only people in the world who use calculateurs and not computers. They also don't eat burgers, which is absolutely good news for me, because I don't like burgers, or at least not meat burgers. But the French call them steak haché. If you go to France to look for a burger, you won't find one, thanks to people like General de Gaulle. For me, the situation is simple and clear. Language is democratic, should be anyway, democratic and free. People must speak, must say what they want to say in whatever language or terms they want to say it in. All over the world and over the centuries, native peoples, natural peoples, local populations have been discriminated against and even punished, physically punished, for using their own language, punished by dominant forces, whether they're political, economic, or religious, trying to impose a particular official language on those people rather than allow them to speak their own language in their own identity. Italy is certainly no exception to this situation, a country where there are no end of local dialects, which have been overcome by general use of the Italian language. Obviously, it's important to have a national language, but it's also important for people to have their own local dialects or local languages. For just to name one example, I would say the Occitan people in the area of Piedmont. I don't think that you can fairly say that they are free to use the Occitan language in their work or in their everyday lives. Speaking of native populations, I'll move on now to Sardinia, which is part of Italy that I love very much and where I spend a lot of my time. I was watching a documentary program on a very interesting documentary series on Netflix involving an American actor and an American friend of his who happens to be a vegan. These two travel around the world, different places in the world, in studying basically what is eco-sustainable, something very close to eco-spirituality. During their travels this week, they were in Sardinia, in a small town close to Nuoro, in the very center of Sardinia, where they discovered that there is an extremely long-lived population, a very high percentage of 100-year-old people, centenarians. This was not news to me because I already know that Sardinia is famous around the world as a place where people live a very long, healthy and happy life. It's known to people, and you can easily see this when you travel around the country. What surprised me though, and also surprised the guys who were filming this program, the two, let's call them journalists for the occasion, what surprised them was that they were interviewing two doctors in this small village who work in this small village in the center of Sardinia. They're very familiar with problems of old age and very surprised by the fact that people live extremely well at a very old age in that area of Sardinia. So they are qualified to speak about what helps people to live for a long time and keep healthy. What these two doctors said, which was surprising and which you don't normally hear from doctors and nutritionists in the modern majoritarian society, what they said is that it's not a good idea at all to eat too much protein. It has, on the contrary, been scientifically demonstrated that too much protein actually causes cancer. It was actually quite amusing, if not comical, because one of the interviewer journalists, who seems to be apparently a famous American actor, began shaking his head and looking very worried. And he then asked the doctor, he said, "Look, I'm worried because I'm currently following a high-protein diet. Are you saying that I will now have cancer?" The doctor smiled and semi-reassured the actor, saying, "Well, if you stop eating all that protein, you may escape. You may be okay." The idea that came to my mind was that for all those years when I was younger and even more so once I decided to become a vegan, the number of people who have always said to me, "Oh, you have to eat meat to get your protein, you know." Well, I now wish to reply to those people. Thank you very much for your helpful advice. I'm a vegan, I'm fine. Maybe you should have listened to my advice, or alternatively you could stop eating meat and help to save the planet, save animals and save yourself. What's more, I'm going to continue to visit Sardinia and I may even consider learning the Sardinian language. Now, to finish off this evening, I would just like to recount briefly a quite amusing experience which I have had during the week. I had a little problem with my car, so I went to visit my local car mechanic. I like my car mechanic, but he's an old man. He says he's 85 years old. As a matter of fact, his sons actually repair the cars in the workshop. He stands around and helps them and speaks to the customers and collects the money, basically. Anyway, my wife and I were speaking to an 85-year-old mechanic when another man came into the workshop and interrupted, basically started speaking himself to our mechanic. This normally would offend people. You can't interrupt like that. I am speaking to the mechanic. What are you doing here? But I didn't react in that way because for some reason, I found this other person was going to be interesting for some reason. I don't know what. Anyway, I didn't interrupt. I didn't say anything. I just listened and observed. The customer didn't look older than the mechanic, who was 85. Indeed, he rather looked younger than the mechanic. He was extremely fit, energetic. He was almost running around. He was smiling. He was happy. He wasn't in a wheelchair. He wasn't walking with sticks. He wasn't in a nursing home, and he wasn't accompanied by any care assistant. He was driving his car. He was as perfectly independent and as healthy as a baby, as it were. I continued to observe and listen, being slightly intrigued by what I was seeing and hearing. At this point, the customer said to the mechanic, well, look, he said, I'm 93 years old, And then I began to reflect a lot more. I was saying to myself, well, look, here is a man who says he's 93 years old, but he's a fully functioning individual. I mean, this looks a pretty good situation to me. Or really, this should not be true, but I can see that it is true. And then what really shook me to the ground almost was that the customer, the 93-year-old customer, said to the 85-year-old mechanic, he said, do you know what my secret is? He said, what you should learn is that we are not just two things. We are not just a body and mind. We are three things. We are body, mind, and spirit. He then sort of laughed, said goodbye to everyone, and almost ran off to his car. So there you have it, everybody. Body, mind, and spirit. The secret to long life and well-being. The very same words used by Eco-Spirituality Foundation and the basis of Eco-Spirituality. Unfortunately, time is up for this evening. I'll leave you with a smile and food for thought in a 93-year-old man speaking to an 85-year-old mechanic. I'll be back again next week with reflections on the past simple in English. And in the meantime, I hope you will remember to participate in Tuesday planet-wide meditation tomorrow evening. And remember to share the vision. This is Nicholas Youldon, Nick Youldon in abbreviation, wishing you a very happy evening, and thank you for listening.